All right. Well, depending on where you are, good afternoon, good morning. Again, my name is TJ Joyce. I'm the general manager of Schomp Subaru out in Aurora, Colorado. Um, I'm really happy to help Steve out here and talk about live rooms today. As Steve said, we've been using Zoom quite a bit. We were a state that was shut down and put on lockdown for quite a while. Service was considered essential. About a week later, they considered sales essential, but they said that we could only do sales off-site, that we could not have people on-site at the dealership. And so even though we considered ourselves progressive when it came to, online activity and online business, we were forced very, very quickly to become even more progressive and to accelerate. I just want to, qualify today's webinar by saying that, I'm a pretty open book. You're going to see my DriveCentric. You're going to notice things that we don't do very well. You're going to see spots in there where we're not very good at using the system the way that we should. We try really, really hard, but by no means do we have enough pride to think that we've got all the right answers. We just think we've got some stuff that could help. So I guess to kind of launch it, the Schomp philosophy of business, just so you kind of know where we stand and how we work. We're a one price dealership. So this is just kind of a snapshot of what our customers see when we're starting any kind of live room meeting or doing a communication with them. We are a one price store. We're an A to Z store. So we use the software you can see on here called A to Z Sync to take our guests, from the beginning of wants and needs all the way through vehicle selection, test drive trades, payment calculations, and menu presentation. We do all of that using live rooms virtually with our guests. And since we have no finance department and our salespeople are A to Z, they do all those presentations on their own. And we've always had a 1 hour promise on paperwork at the store, but we'll talk today about how we've been able to accelerate and get time frames down in some opportunities to close to a half an hour to complete a transaction. So using the live rooms, I'm not sure how many people have had the chance to kind of get in there and dig in and how you go about it. So I just want to flash through it real quick. As you go into your activity panel and you're able to click on the video, you can create a live room, send an invite. And once you send that invite, your screen opens up and you are, you have the ability at that time to launch a video. The customer accepts that. And when they accept that, there's no software they have to download. There's nothing that they've got to, pick up. They just have to accept a couple permissions to be able to use the camera and use the microphone. Some things that Steve and I and the engineers have been talking about are some changes to some opportunities to make sure that everybody has access to those things. Every once in a while, you're going to want to make sure you qualify with a guest that when you send that link out, they do have the access. There's some computers, unfortunately, desktops that don't have cameras or don't have microphones built in. And you're going to want to make sure that whatever device you're sending the invite to, that they're going to have the ability to accept that and chat with you and video chat with you. Steve, from there, I think I just want to maybe chat about how we've kind of tossed the process on its head and how we're actually using this. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's perfect. No, I think, that's a great illustration of the product, but yeah, just showing them how they're using it, how you guys are monitoring and drive the measurements and what you've done performance wise, I think is going to be relevant. How to use it the way you guys are using it, where you're going with it.
Absolutely. Well, I think one of the things that we've noticed, and I realize that what I'm about to say is going to be a little bit controversial, and that's okay.
We like that.
Right? It may not be for everybody. But one of the things I think we learned very, very quickly is that we had a little bit too much pride in some of our store and internet processes, that we determined early on, way back in the day, that the old adage of just get them in the door and let's figure out how to close the deal while they're here was the only way to sell cars. And during kind of COVID, and even now that we've come clear of COVID, and at least from a lockdown standpoint, we can have guests back in our showroom. All of June, we were allowed to have guests back in the showroom. We stuck with a change that we made early on, and that change was that by using live rooms and using these video chats, we have actually elected now to basically take the customer as far as they will let us go down the road of buying a car without coming into the store. And what made us nervous, of course, at first, and what I think makes a lot of people nervous about doing that, we're a one price store. And as a one price store, we are legitimately one price. We will not budge. And what always makes us nervous, of course, is if I spend, 30 minutes on a video chat with a guest and I show them absolutely everything and I go down to the penny and I give away absolutely all of my secrets and what I've got, that all they have to do is pick up the phone or get on the computer and send my quotes and my numbers to somebody else, and I'm going to get beat. And that was really nerve-wracking. But we found that with the live rooms and with the engagement with the chats and being able to get online with a guest, that once we started that engagement and the customer was able to see us, trust us, walk through the entire process with full transparency, basically letting them guide the entire transaction, we were having opportunities where we had credit apps filled out, commitments to cars, and we had basically sold the unit, including presenting final finance menu, in less than 30 minutes from the time that we took the initial lead. We communicated, we reached out, we said, hey, we can hop on a chat with you right now. You never have to leave your home. We can show you on live video here and share the screen and show you the entire menu. We pop into our system, we pick a vehicle, and we start having the conversation with the guest about what they're looking for and what kind of payment range they might be in. And we just end up in a situation where we've basically gone through the entire desking process, taken a credit app digitally, and gotten a commitment on the car. The next step that became nerve-wracking there was saying, okay, well, they haven't driven it yet. What happens if they don't like it? So we've made a commitment to the guests that we will take the car to them with all the paperwork printed and ready to sign. And as long as they enjoy the vehicle and they think the vehicle checks out the way that they want it to, then they can sign the paperwork and we'll leave the vehicle with them. If for any reason the car wasn't exactly the color they thought it was going to be when we showed them the live video of the car, or if there was something on the interior they didn't like on a pre-owned car and they didn't want it, they hadn't signed any paperwork yet. There was no risk to the customer whatsoever. I can tell you that over the last couple of months, I can count on one hand the number of people that didn't like the car. And I can tell you also that all 5 of those transactions, they still bought a vehicle from us. They just bought a different vehicle. And so the use of live rooms where I can hop on here and I can start a live room, but then I can transfer it over to my phone, gave us the ability to, during these conversations, walk out on the lot, show them a live video of the vehicle, answer any questions in real time and full transparency. They could tell we weren't hiding anything because we're standing right there live in front of the car. We'd get in and out. We'd show them the odometer. We would show them the scratches, the dents, the dings on the pre-owned cars. And we'd really put them in a position where there was absolutely nothing to hide and no reason for them to doubt us. So the direction of really pulling back from the whole just get them in the door and put them through the process at the store, while it was scary, we're coming off a couple of months of some of the highest closing ratios we've seen on internet activities. Our engagement rate with our internet leads is anywhere between, on the low side, it's been about 72%. And on the high side, it's been about 85%. We track every single day. This is a live document of our current sales for the day. And you can see right here that out of 6 deals we have on the board for the day, 3 of these deals have taken place completely off-site. These are customers that never stepped foot through the door. All 3 of these, I believe, are local, at least within Colorado. I know this one's in Colorado Springs, which is about an hour away. But all of these were done over live rooms. We took the lead. We engaged with the guest. We opened up the window. We started by just having a friendly video chat. And then we shared our screen, went through our A to Z sync software where we were able to show them live quotes on the vehicle they were looking for. Once we got into a situation where they felt the base payment was worthy of them sending in a credit app, we took the credit app. We then processed, got a rate, gave them final disclosures, presented their menu. And then we've got our paperwork printed, our products printed, car is being detailed, and we're going to show up at their house with paperwork ready to sign.
TJ, can you show your appointment board and show them how you're, like, when they're scheduling a live room, discuss your philosophy real quick on that in DriveCentric so they can.
Absolutely. So this is kind of a live view of today's appointments, and we have a few less of these appointments getting started than normal. But you can see here in the time schedule, one of the things we're working with Drive on is possibly being able to designate an appointment as a virtual appointment or an in-store appointment. But for now, you can see that anything that's 1 past the hour or 1 past a quarter hour here, we've designated these as our ability to know that we've got an appointment, but these are going to be live room appointments. So at these times, if we've communicated with a guest and they're not in a position where they can take a video call right as soon as we start engagement, we set up an appointment for later in the day, identify them by going 1 past the hour, 1 past the half hour, 1 past the quarter hour, whatever it is. And this lets our management team know that, yes, this person, Drew, or let's say here, Brandon is in the building, but Brandon is going to be unavailable at 1:30 because he's going to be on a live room call with a guest attempting to sell a car. And so you'll see on a given day, today is a little light on appointments for us, and only 3 of them are off-site. We've had days where we've had, 25, 30 appointments scheduled, and anywhere between 15 and 18 of them have been for Zoom, or off-site type appointments. But we feel it's important to be able to designate that so that as you're looking through your availability for your client advisors, you know that they're not really available. You also know that they're going to be in a particular area on their computer or on their phone managing these appointments.
And TJ, have you had managers jump on the call with your salesperson in live rooms, or have you had other people besides the salesperson on the same call to help the salesperson TO it or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do, one of the things, again, talking about scary processes is I can't tell you right now how many trades we've done in a virtual environment where we've either done a live room communication where the phone's been handed from a client advisor over to a manager, who then discusses the trade with the guest. So the guest can step outside of their home into their garage or pull it out in the driveway. We'll ask the same type of questions we would ask on site. What's the history, any damages, anything we need to do to the vehicle to get it ready for the next individual. We have them, get a close-up of the tires. We have them check out the windshield. We have them sit in the car and walk through. So at that point in time, the engagement continues. We're not stepping out. We're not handing off. We're not doing anything weird as far as trying to stop the interaction. We're staying mid-flow with the manager to go through the trade evaluation. Cool. On occasion, we'll have people that do question our philosophy, don't believe that we're a one-price store. And so we will on occasion have to have a manager kind of hop on there in that call just to say, hey, in fact, this is true. Our client advisor isn't lying to you. We are fully transparent with our pricing and this is where it's at, but I'm here to make sure you get taken care of, et cetera, et cetera.
Cool. And last thing real quick, and then I got a bunch of questions already coming in, DJ, but real quick, the process for when you get a customer, the salesperson gets somebody in the showroom, the salesperson checks them in the showroom. So they show up in the showroom. It's just, we don't have a button for it, but it's in the showroom. Now, did the salesperson alert the manager, like using the notification, like at TJ, I got this customer on the phone? Do they do anything like that? Or what's your process for the salesperson checking in the store so the manager can be effective at joining the room with them?
Yeah, so they'll ping them if they need assistance. Again, with the A to Z Sync software that we use and the ability to use that for a client advisor to really walk through the entire process on their own. We've trained our staff to be able to kind of handle just about everything on their own. But yes, if in fact they're in a particular room, they do check them in. So they do get checked into the store so that there's a notification on our desk log. We then match that up with the appointment log to see that it's a virtual appointment. So the managers are aware that that's taking place. And then at any point in time, they will at the manager, at myself as the general manager if they need some assistance, and we'll locate them and get them taken care of.
Cool. All right, guys, start firing some questions, man. I got a bunch of them. My buddy Murad, he had a whole bunch all fired up for me. He's at Porsche OEM with Shift Digital, and they're doing a project on doing a lot of these virtual meetings at Porsche. So let me hit you up with a couple of these. How many customers per week are you seeing use live rooms?
Oh, per week? I mean, I would say we're probably using using it 10 to 15 times a day. And there are going to be certain days where it's busier. We're closed Sundays and Mondays, but our team works from home on Mondays. We kind of rotate folks through answering leads that came in on Sunday and answering leads as they come in through Monday. We have a lot of chats that are just kind of one-on-ones because they're not at the store. So that's a little bit different use. That's just kind of a get to know your salesperson type of use of it. Hey, let me chat. I can walk you through all of it. I just can't go show you the car because we're closed today. So there are times on a Monday we might have 20 to 30 live room opportunities. During the week, I would say when we're busier and we're open, it's probably 10 to 15 a day that customers will engage with us on that platform.
Cool. And I do like this question right here. Do you promote this functionality on your homepage or in campaigns or social media at all? I love that question.
Yeah. So we have, considering we were piloting the program for DriveCentric, we didn't promote it as live rooms right away. But if you ever go, we have This is kind of what we have right here. We call it Schomp at Home. And so we are promoting this. You'll still see Zoom up here. And Steve, as we talked about, I'm going to be honest as to why we occasionally still have to use it and what you guys are working on to help develop the program. But we do promote it on here as Zoom today. And one of the only reasons for that is we do have DriveCentric is working on the ability to have multiple customers, I guess, on the line at the same time. So one of the current limitations this program, guys, I hope you all realize this. This is brand new. Steve and his team at DriveCentric came to us again only about a month ago and said, hey, we're really excited about potentially rolling this out. And within about a week of us piloting the program, they had pretty much offered it to a large portion of the dealer groups. And so I hope everybody realizes how fast that is for a rollout for a product that's extremely functional. One of the only limitations right now is if I have a buyer and a co-buyer who aren't at the same place at the same time, we're not currently able to send them links where both of them can join the live room at the same time. And so we currently still have to use Zoom on occasion when we have two people that want to be involved and they're not sitting in front of the same computer. But we absolutely do promote this. Through June, we had delivered Schomp Subaru here, just our store, delivered 497 cars, and 37% of those cars that we delivered were done off-site. And almost every single one of those off-site deliveries involved live rooms in some form or another, whether it was initially or through the process of desking the deal and getting the customer to commit to the car. So you can get a pretty good indication on nearly 500 deals, how often we're using this and how much we're promoting it each time we have the opportunity. Cool.
Yeah, no, and hey, you're getting compliments about the website promoting. So that's really cool. I do like that. Just if you're going to show a differentiator and people are on the website, I think that's great. That's really cool. Let me add a couple other questions real quick, and I'll jump in some of the other ones because I do like some of these that are all coming in here. Do you see more people using the functionality for the digital retailing process or virtual test drives?
I guess I will say yes. It's definitely.
Right, and the last one, and the guys at Capital and some of the other stores I've talked to about this, I love this question because I already know the answer, at least from the Capital Auto Group. But let me ask you this, see if you've measured this. What % of customers show their face on the video? I love that.
That's really low. I'll tell you that. I won't be able to tell you it's 28.7%, right. But I can tell you that it's probably only about 1 in 4. Usually when it happens is right away. If we're going to get it, it's right away because they just think it's cool. And they love that they can then have that interaction. When we're going through, if the customer does not want a live video of the car and more wants us to just shoot a recorded video because they're like, hey, I can't engage in a live chat right now, but will you please record a typical DriveCentric video and shoot it over? Yeah. If we then get to a point where we have a meeting down the line to go over numbers, very rarely will they show their face while we're doing numbers. Almost nobody that I've seen when we've been watching these, if it's just a numbers only presentation and we're going through the base payment, we're going through the credit application, we're going through the menu presentation and the final disclosures, almost nobody shows their face on those.
Okay. And my whole thing is too, I mean, for everybody that, I look at this as saying, it's the option. In my opinion, it would just be the option. If the customer shows them themselves, then, just like you or like TJ right now is not showing himself, whatever, but at least you get to see yourself. That's the biggest thing is they get to see who you are and they're sizing you up. So I'm all about always showing myself anytime we do it. I know our team does that. So I think it's more important for the customer to buy from you. You know what I mean? That's who they purchase from. So anyway.
It's that trustworthiness and that, again, it's the transparency of nobody's hiding behind the phone. Nobody's a keyboard warrior. Like I am a live person. And again, for the A to Z process of how we operate, it's the introduction of the person you're going to be working with the whole time. And we've loved that A to Z philosophy, and we love A to Z Sync as a software program that helps us get there. But that ability for us to say, hey, this is me, I'm TJ, and I am your client advisor, and you are not going to work with anybody else. It's just going to be me. To be able to have that face-to-face or my face to your screen, if you don't want to show your face, interaction, it still lets them see who they're working with on the other end of the line, and you're a real person at that point in time.
Yeah, no, totally. All right, this has come from Case Beer. Have you had any pushback on taking credit info via live rooms? And similarly, do you have any concerns about that conversation not being recorded, so you have no proof that the customer allowed you to take their info?
Correct. We don't actually take the credit application over live rooms. We will send them a secure link and have them fill the credit application out online themselves. And that's through, a full SSL certification and protection. We will not take any information over the line that is considered personal. We have also talked, I know Steve, and again, I hope I'm not putting my foot in my mouth here, but we have talked about the potential of Drive being able to record videos, and obviously that's a lot of storage space, and how long do you keep them, et cetera, because we did have the conversation about compliance. And if I have the opportunity to present a menu online and customer comes back in 3 months and says, oh, you guys just jammed this all in and I didn't know I was going to buy it, I'd love to have that recording. But we do not collect any credit application worthy information via the video. We're always going to put them through the secure website to do that.
Yeah. No, that's good. Good stuff. Good question there, Matthew. I like that. And keep firing away questions, guys. This is your time right now to really ask more about, streaming videos in a lot of different ways. And I'm sure TJ could talk about where you can see this product going and things like that. Let me get at a couple more of these questions because they've been waiting here.
Sure.
And this is from Dan up there in the Northwest area. He says, is there a desktop feature only? Does it work from the app as well? Obviously it's an easy transition, and maybe you can talk about that real quick for your salespeople.
Absolutely. Yeah. The app is the best part. And the transition is extremely easy. So you can hop in to a live room and you can switch off at will between your desktop and your phone. You cannot run them concurrently. But one of the best ways that it's used is we get engagement, in our call center upstairs. And while we're engaging, we offer and say, hey, can I just take you outside real quick and show you the car? I actually just saw it. It's parked out front. I can walk down. And they open up the app. They go into the same customer. It shows that they're in a live room meeting. You click a button, and just like that, your live room has been transferred from your desktop to your mobile. You can then switch the camera back and forth, just like you'd be able to do on any other type of FaceTime meeting, and go show off the car. And then from there, you can completely turn everything around and flip it back to the desktop if it's time to go in and show, time to show your presentation or your numbers, or go through more inventory, or, whatever the case may be. So it's very seamless. It's extremely smooth. It is the biggest advantage Live Room has over something like Zoom. I'm sure it can be done, but knowing that you're dealing with your guest in your environment with your software and it's completely seamless, I have not had any issues with that whatsoever. It's been great.
Good. No, that's cool. Yeah. Dan, I don't want you to think I didn't hear your other question, but yes, it is an add-on. It is. And I know that when we create this, you got to understand what the cost is involved of doing video. And this is basically, for everybody who doesn't know, this is like call recording. What we're doing is we're charging $295 for every 10,000 minutes. Now, again, we're looking at, if we, like what TJ said about video storage, we are having conversations because a lot of people, I think, on this call could definitely leverage videos with the customer and have that being recorded. But to store the videos would be an additional cost. We don't yet know what that is. But right now, I think, if you're like, how much time do you think, TJ? I guess I haven't really, maybe nobody's asked this question yet, but how long are your sessions going, you think, with a customer? Just curious.
I would say that on average, the ones that go all the way through are I mean, they can go as long as 25 minutes, 25, 30 minutes.
I look at that and I'm like, that's 25 minutes of being face-to-face potentially, or even just one face with a customer. I mean,
Right.
this is the phone on steroids. I mean, it's just another opportunity. And I could see people, not getting up to 10,000 minutes, but you could see it could get very costly from, if you get those customers, you're doing 15 in one day. I mean, I'd celebrate that all day long. I mean, I think people would just die for 15 a week.
Again,
it's going to be a new process.
In June, Steve, I don't think I'd love to give DriveCentric all the credit. I can't do that.
No, your people are everybody that's on Drive. It's their management team. I mean, we give credit to everybody implementing it.
So I feel like here, with the team that we've got in place, the buy-in, and the ability for them to very quickly see the engagement level. I'll tell you right now, if any of you are having trouble getting your management to buy in, I know it's difficult to make people do things sometimes because you feel like you don't get the quality out of it when you have to make somebody do it. But I would challenge anyone who doesn't see the value in this to really, really measure the look at the opportunities and how they go, what the flow looks like when you have these types of engagement on the live rooms. Because once again, our biggest concern was we would just get shopped, that we would give up everything and then we wouldn't see the customer. And we're coming off a month that we've had our highest market share ever. And for those of you who know the Subaru product and know the Denver area, this is the Subaru capital of the world. It is an extremely competitive market. And, we had very fortunate, we had a very dominant month. And as we looked back to our successes and how many deals we were literally getting done in 25 to 30 minutes over live rooms, it was shocking. And so I would encourage you to really pay attention to those who do buy in and how well they pay attention to, how well they pay attention to those live rooms and how quickly that customer can engage. And then for the dealer principals, the GMs, the GSMs out there, it's really going to be more on you to decide if you want to give them the flexibility to take that deal and that process further down the line. Again, we're so afraid of committing to things early and giving away too much information without getting them in the door. And I would basically say, I think for a little bit here, you might have to try very hard to get past that.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Nathan, here in St. Louis, Missouri. Good old Nathan. All right. So I can answer this one. Does Drive pick this up in reporting? Right now, the answer is no. And again, as we build this product, this is where I think DriveCentric would like to look to folks on what reporting would we want to kind of capture. TJ, I know, how are you current? And I'll give us the other question on this, because I'm sure from a reporting perspective, scheduling these and, because there is going to be some manual stuff to this. Can you hear me, TJ?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, sorry. I just had a little flitch of my thing going here. But are most of these live rooms that you're doing, are they all scheduled? I know that you're doing some, but are any of these doing these on the fly? What's your experience so far with that?
Yeah, I would probably say it's, again, without committing to an exact number, I would probably say 6 or 7 out of 10 are more scheduled. And again, it's not due to any kind of lack of desire by the customer or lack of desire by the salesperson. It's just the timing. where you're gonna, you send something to an individual and they're like, well, I'm at work right now. I can't really do this, but can I catch up with you while I'm on my lunch break? And so we'll get a hold of them. We get engagement. They now know it's available, and we set something up for later. During more of the heart of COVID, and for those folks who are still working at home, when we engage and offer it to them, if they're in a spot that they can do it, we'll just pick it up right there and it goes live. And so at that point in time, we're treating it just like we would any other phone call, right? Our client advisor is engaged with a guest on the phone. It's just a video, and it's a live video phone call. And so we're pushing our client advisors to take the deal as far as they can in that opportunity, even though it wasn't scheduled. We're going to treat it like a showroom visit, and we're going to walk them through the inventory. We're going to walk them through, the verification processes, and we're going to get in here and we're going to start walking them through the payments, and we're going to talk, about everything we can and move them through. So, I mean, anything we can present to the customer the same way we would present them on the showroom, we're gonna do it.
Cool. And here, let me hit. Jeff Keene asked this question, and I may have to unmute you, Jeff, here, if you want to get further into this. But he says, "Can this program run without a desktop from beginning to end?"
Yes. So if you're on mobile, you could start this on mobile. Steve, I haven't tested it on the iPads yet. Does it work on the iPads?
Well, if you're on the app, I haven't even tested it yet. It's been so new. I'd have to test that as well. So that would be a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the iPads, but yes, you can start it on the mobile from the word go. It's something you can start from right within the app, and you can complete the entire thing on the app. Again, whether screen sharing is going to work as well as you'd like, that would be a whole different scenario. But being able to at least engage in a video chat from wherever you are with your app, yes, you can start and finish from the app directly.
Cool. And then my buddy Eric, I was giving you a plug before you joined, just so you know. But he wanted to ask, because I think, TJ, you know where I'm going with Eric at Classic Chevrolet. He's just checking to see if you've done anything in service yet.
Okay, so again, I told Steve I was going to be honest about all my answers. We have not used live rooms for service. However, we do videos for service. Yes, they are not live videos, but we record videos of our inspections and pointing out what's going on, and we do send those to the guest. I know that Steve's interested and his team in developing this into a product that can be used for service, and we're definitely very interested in seeing what comes out of that as well, because there's definitely application for this in service.
Yeah, no, and Eric is using it for service, but you can be transparent about, what you're doing. Because I mean, so that people understand, because you can use it for service, but you get, if you want to throw that out, it doesn't matter. But, that was just an interesting question, because I know he's doing it on service and having great success. And I would love to do the same thing with Eric, so other people can learn how he's doing it for service. Because we just had Absolutely. A great talk the other day. So,
yeah.
And right now, TJ, I know you're doing this for one way, but how are you getting your processes set up to do this in other areas moving forward? Like, because right now you're doing it, you want to do it for internet, and phone up is kind of like your next project, right?
As far as the live rooms?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're fully engaged in using it for internet and phone. It's a major part of what we do. It's an expectation now for the client advisors. I mean, it doesn't replace videos. I just want to make that clear. So we still have an expectation that even if you have a live engagement with a guest in a live room, that you're still sending a video later. But, I will tell you that there are still some showroom opportunities for this. I think that pre-COVID and even probably post-COVID, I think a lot of people know that from a digital retailing standpoint, a lot of guests still will visit the store first and then want to complete their transaction online, or take the majority of the transaction online at home at a later date. So we do have guests that do visit the showroom. We do tell them when they're here that the option to complete this over a live room, engagement is there. And we do have guests take advantage of that. So we will have people come in the showroom, test drive a car physically, leave. We either got weak or they had too much to do and we couldn't get them closed. And then we brought them back into the live room environment from home. We closed the deal, presented the numbers from there.
Cool. And then my buddy Brian Schneider. Do you advertise us on radio and TV pre-roll or pre-roll?
So again, I'm going to be ridiculously honest here.
You gotta be.
We have not really spent any money on radio or TV since COVID started. And again, another controversial statement I'm going to make. I don't know that we're going to spend a lot more moving forward. We're coming off a couple of very profitable months despite everything going on. And, my marketing budget was cut significantly. And we increased in market share. Now, I don't know if that's because everybody else turned off their marketing as well. But I can just tell you, we had not advertised this on radio. We did not advertise it on TV. Really, the only place we advertised it was we did some email blasts to our current database. And we did have it, front and center on the website for a long time. And it was promoted on our social media pages.
Cool. All right, man. Any other questions from the group? I mean, I know it's we've been about 40 minutes right now, and I just want to make sure we hit everybody. If there's any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, we can start wrapping it up. Well, cool beans, man. Yeah, nobody's firing. So, no, TJ, I really appreciate you, like I said, taking the time out of your day. And, for everybody that's joined, we are doing this again on Friday. There is a recording of this. So if anybody's wanting the link, we'll be more than happy to share it to you so you can, share it with your team and stuff. If you're talking about implementing it, I think, this is something new. I think you're going to hear more and more about this from not just, like chat tools doing this, or obviously us doing this. I think it's a lot easier, obviously, when it's in the CRM. I think we would all agree with that, but even the OEMs are starting to really promote this hard. So I hope this is a solution for everybody to really get in front of the customer faster than your competitors. And that I hope you're seeing that from a customer experience perspective, just so everybody knows. And I'm going to give kudos to TJ, Mike Dunlop, and his whole team over at Schomp, because they had a very, very tight process, and they were on dealer socket before they came to Drive. And again, I'm not, like I said, I'm really giving benefit to them that they're just great operators, but they've just been doing things differently. And TJ and I had this conversation about their business, but TJ, if you could just say one thing about the responses that you're getting and how that's affecting growth, I thought that was a very powerful thing that you just kind of said, just to, hopefully give little carrots to everybody that's on the call.
Yeah, I think that again, you mentioned it just a minute ago in the speed of engagement, right? I mean, it's always been, you always want to be first, right? You don't just want to be first, though, you want to be best. And when you can be first and best, which I think this tool really allows you to do, what we're noticing in a lot of areas is the engagement level at some of the stores. Again, it's so high that I've been able to kind of slowly kind of tweak and raise my pricing. And as a one price store, again, if any of you have ever dealt with one price before, you know how dangerous raising pricing can be, because the second you're out of the market, because you'd have to go back and change it all again for everybody. So very tenuously and very nervously, I've been able to kind of tick my pricing up both on new and pre-owned cars to a point where I know for a fact I am not the lowest price in my market at any of the stores. And any of the stores right now would very, very easily say yes to beating my price, because they're not losing anything to beat my price. But because of the engagement level that we get so far in, we get so far down the path of doing the deal, and it's so transparent being there on video, they don't shop. That's what we've been shocked at is they just say yes more often than you think they would. You get them, 15 minutes in and you've had a good conversation with them. They've seen you face to face. You've showed them the car. You've explained your pricing and how it's competitive. You've walked them through the specials and the opportunities and built any kind of urgency you need to, because your sale is ending, or the interest rates are ending, or the incentives are ending, or whatever. And then it's just a very simple, so, if you'd like, we can take a credit app right now and we can make sure you qualify for the rates we talked about. And if it's something you like, I can have all the paperwork printed, bring the car fully gassed and detailed to your house. If it's everything you love, you can sign the paperwork and it's yours. If it's not something that's perfect for you, you haven't signed anything. I'll bring it back and we'll find something else. Do you want to go ahead and fill out that credit app? it's just like asking for the sale in person. It's just, again, it just takes a little more guts and a little bit of letting go of the reins on saying, I got to have them in the door in order to give them my price.
Oh, there you go. Hey, that right there alone, I think would, that says it all right there. I mean, it really is. I think, you know, I still joke around every time I secret shop stores. Yeah. What time can you come in? I mean, it's the way you approach it. So,
Yeah.
well, there's no other questions. So like I said, TJ, thank you very much, man. And like I said, he'll be again on here on Friday. If anybody wants this recorded, feel free to hit me up, text me, email, you know, whatever you want to do. And I'll send this over to you guys. You guys can, you know, watch this with the management team so you guys can learn from it. And that's what I'm hoping to do, more of this. So if any of the stores that are on this are using, whether it's live rooms, maybe you're doing personalized video, you know, technique, saving a deal. I think one of the things we want to do at DriveCentric is really get dealerships to leverage the tool even better by doing these types of sessions. So if that's something, you guys are doing something that's maybe a little bit different, you'd like to share, man, hit me up. I'd love to learn a little bit more. It's always great working with dealers like, you know, TJ and some of the other dealers we work with, and really just spread the knowledge. That's what we want to do at Drive. And so hopefully you guys can appreciate that and want to learn from hopefully other dealers, and more importantly, connect the dots. You know, TJ has been great about taking calls, emails. I don't want to bombard you, TJ. But, you know, I think we're all in this together and we're all here to help one another. And that's what's cool about the DriveCentric family. So by all means, let me know. I'll be more than happy to connect the dots from anybody. Let's see as well. I missed the first couple of minutes thing. Oh, okay. I got you, Sam. I'll take care of you. So yeah, everybody's requested an email, so it's all good.
So Steve, I do want to say real quick, and again, it's just because I mentioned it a few times today. If anybody is an A to Z store or has dreams of becoming an A to Z or a one price store, this group A to Z Sync has tremendous software, great consulting. There's a lot of stores that have been converted over to this A to Z platform with one price, A to Z type of environment without one price. This is Chip Perry. If you haven't heard, Chip Perry is the new CEO of A to Z Sync. So there's some big guns in the industry there. And if you need some contacts, please reach out and let me know, and I can get you in touch with those guys.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I actually watched his interview the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. Congratulations on that one, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, hey, let's go sell some cars. If anybody is interested in doing a demo of the live rims and want to see the full functionality of it, email me, text me. More than happy to share it with you. And again, review some of the things that it's limited to doing, just being straight up. But again, to TJ's point, you know, it's really cool when we get a product out there and then we just fine tune it, build the reporting towards it. So like I said, I think we're really excited to be having this product now at our fingertips for everybody. So thanks again for everybody participating. TJ, thank you again, man.
Of course. Thank you, everybody. And if you need anything, please let me know.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Take care.